Let's do something different for part 2 of my how to make a hand lettering font. So instead of my usual setup with a ring light and with me just sitting on one place, I will try to make this video feel more like a vlog. So I'm going to carry the camera like this, move it around, show you more stuff. So let me just set it down first. I hope you can't hear the dogs barking in the background anyway. So in last week's video, I shared with you part 1 of this video series. I don't know if I should call it series because it's just 2 parts since I want to make a hand lettering font. So of course I have to create the letters first, right? So in last week's video, I shared how I made this. Right now, it's just the outlines of the letters because it's going to take me forever to shade each letter. So I decided to fill in the letters in Photoshop because it's just going to take me a few seconds there. So why? I don't know what to say. Why make it more difficult for myself when I could easily do it in Photoshop, right? There. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to scan this over there, here. That's my scanner slash printer. So I'm going to scan it and then I'm going to transfer it to Photoshop, and I'm going to share with you how I clean it or how I prepare that into something I could create a font. So I hope you're excited to watch the entire process. So if you haven't watched the first video, I'll put the link in the description below, and I hope you like this new style of video. I don't know, because if I use the ring light, it feels very irritating to my eyes with all of that brightness shining into my eyes. I don't know. Anyway, let's go back to the video. I actually already scanned it last week, so let me just look for the file.
2 hours later.
Anyway, I can't find it, so let me just scan it again. So while it's still scanning, for this video, I'm going to do several lettering work. The reason why I'm doing several, because since I'm going to do it digitally, it's going to be way faster. So the words or the quotes that I'm going to make will come from you actually, because last week I posted on my Instagram stories, I created a question and I asked you what quote or what word you want me to do. So I'm going to randomly pick from that list to make for you. And then since it's going to be digital, scanning is done. So since it's going to be digital, I decided to add colors. So what I'm going to do is I am going to use this Instagram account. If you're not familiar with it, it's called Colors Cafe, and they have a lot of different color selection or color combinations here. So I'm going to pick one, maybe this one. So I'm going to use this color combination for my lettering works. Now the scanning is done, so I'm going to open it up on Photoshop. So right now I am in the scan folder. I have it here. This is the file. So I'm going to drag it to Photoshop right now and then rotate it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to edit this. I'm going to fill in each letter and then I'm going to give it a transparent background. I make it black and white first by clicking the black and white adjustment. And then I am going to go back to the background layer, use a brush, make sure that it is white, and I'm going to paint white onto all of the background so that it'll be easier for me to turn this completely transparent later on. So next thing I do is I use this levels adjustment. I adjust the midtones to bring out the black more and also the highlights to remove the white or the light gray background. So I'm not sure if you could see, the background is now white and the text is black, and I have some gray lines, the pencil marks over there, which I will erase later on. So right now this is what I have, and then I'm going to merge all of these adjustments layer with the background layer. I selected everything, hit Ctrl E. Now I'm going to unlock the background so that I'll be able to add a white background or a solid white layer for the background, like this. Let me just make it light gray so that it'll be easier for me to see. So now I'm going to use the magic wand. Make sure that contiguous is checked. So I'm going to select the background. And then I'm going to hit delete. So now I'm left with the letters with transparent background. I missed this one, so there. So next is, since I already have these letters with transparent background, I'm going to hit Ctrl U and then just zero the darkness so it's completely filled. It's as easy as that. So instead of shading each letter, you could see that this is way easier, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select each letter using the marquee tool. Is this the marquee tool? Yes, rectangular marquee tool. I'm going to cut and paste so that I'll have them in individual layers. So I'm going to do that to all of the letters. Next letter is A. And then next letter is I. So I'm going to do that for all of the letters, and then I'm going to make some adjustments, make sure that they are aligned. I'm not going to show the whole process because it's going to take me forever, and it's going to take me forever to edit it as well. Let me just share with you how I'm going to make sure everything's aligned. So for this one, I'm going to drag some guides over here, and then I'm going to align them to make sure that my letters are upright. So I'm not sure if it's obvious to the screen, but you could see that my eye is not completely straight. So I'm going to hit Ctrl T, and then I'm going to drag this a little bit to make sure that it is straighter, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to do that for all letters, and I'm going to make sure I erase all of these pencil marks because you don't want that. Since I'm creating raster fonts, I'm not going to vectorize this, and that is why I'm creating the font using Photoshop. After I separate each layer individually, I'm going to arrange them alphabetical in the layer section, and then I'm going to label them. For example, this is B, this is A, this is I, and then I'm going to arrange them later on. And then I am going to use this plugin that I bought more than a year ago. It's this Font Self Maker. So let me just check its website. So this is what I use. So it is a plugin for both Photoshop and Illustrator. What I did is I just bought this plugin and then I added it to my Photoshop, which I forgot how, but I'm sure there are instructions here. Now I have it here. This is a plugin. Actually, this is the finished font that I made last week. So I'm going to recreate the process to show you how I'm going to do this again, so that if you want to create your own hand lettering font or your own raster hand lettering font, you could use this software and this plugin. So I forgot to mention, I'm using Adobe Photoshop, Creative Cloud, Photoshop CC, and with this Font Self Maker plugin. Now I am going to separate each letter individually, then I'm going to arrange them alphabetically, and then the rest is pretty simple. What you have to do is you just have to open that plugin on your Photoshop, just click the icon, and then just drag those 26 layers into that plugin, and then that's it. It's actually that simple. It's very, very simple. Since we're just doing like a raster font, you don't have to like adjust the spacing between letters, or the heights of the letters. You could adjust that beforehand. That's why when I made my... Wait a minute, let me just get it. That is why when I made the alphabet, I made sure that the heights are consistent, the widths are consistent. I made sure all of that is being done at this stage so that I don't have to clean everything up later in Photoshop, which is going to take so much time. Actually, before I tried adjusting everything in Photoshop, which took me forever. That's why when I made this new font, so I made sure that everything's already aligned and consistent. Those are just some of the things that I learned because I made so many mistakes creating a font before. So I'm just sharing with you what I learned so that you won't make the same mistakes and it won't take you so much time in creating your own font. So let me just edit these first and I'll get back to you. Hey, I'm back here. I'm sorry for the bad transition. I can't think of a good transition. It's getting dark already. That's why I don't have a good transition for that. Anyway, so now let me share with you the screen of my laptop. So if you can see, I have each letter in each layer. So I have A to Z. Now the next thing is very, very simple. If you have Font Self Maker installed, just click this icon and then a small window is going to open up. So this is the font that I already made last week. So let me just recreate the whole process to share with you. What you do is you click new, and then new font. It's going to ask you to drag and drop your letters here. I select 10 letters at a time. So I highlighted all of the layers and then just drag it here. Any character, batch. So it's importing. If you can see, let me try to zoom it. Oops, zoom is too slow. Anyway, so I already have it here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Make sure that the correct letters are indicated. Let me just zoom it. So if this is F, it says F here. If it's G, it says G here. Now that I have my first 10 letters, next is I'm going to add in my other letters. So K to S, just drag it again. It says importing. I'm sure it's clearer now. So now you've imported it. Just make sure, just check the letters. It's L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S. So next is T to Z. Just drag it here, importing. So I'm importing it part by part, 10 letters each, because I tried importing all 26 letters at the same time. What I got is all of these letters are scrambled up. Unlike now, the T is under T, U is U, V is V, W is W, X is X, Y is Y, Z is Z. So after that, you have to hit save. The save is here. Just click save, then just type it, times Nick Roman. That's what I did. And then I hit OK. It's going to save, but if you can see, it's already saved here, times Nick Roman. And there you have it. And it's as simple as that. So you just draw your letters, scan it, clean it up a bit, and then you separate each letter into each layer. And then you label it so that you won't get confused. And then you just open up the Font Self Maker plugin and then just drag your layers into the small window. Click save and type in the name of the font, whatever you want to call it. And then that's it. You have your raster hand lettered font. So let me just share with you the advantages and the disadvantages of creating a font this way. First is, since I use Photoshop, it is going to be a raster font. If your letters originally have low resolution, you can't use that font and create very, very big letters. You'll have very pixelated letters. That is a disadvantage of doing it this way. Another disadvantage, which is also an advantage, so if you want to create a very colorful font, wherein you have multiple colors in your font, you could do it this way. But the disadvantage is you won't be able to change the colors, unlike when you normally use fonts. So whatever the colors of your letters are when you imported it or when you made the font, it's going to stay that way. But you can still color your fonts in different ways. And then another disadvantage is, are there other disadvantages? Wait. Yeah, so I think those are the major disadvantage of doing it this way or creating a font this way. It's not scalable and the colors are not changeable. But the advantage of doing it this way is that it's very, very easy to create a font. Since what I'm doing is a hand lettered font, imperfections are okay in this style, and that's why I didn't have to do a lot of editing, because I want to preserve that handmade feel to my fonts. Another advantage is, since it is a font, you can create so many things way faster, right? Another disadvantage is that all of your letters are going to look alike. However, Font Self Maker actually has a feature like an alternative character. You could draw two letter A's and then you could add both letter A's into your Font Self Maker because it allows an alternative font. So yeah, that. So if you have any questions, you could just comment them below and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability and knowledge, because I haven't been using this Font Self Maker a lot. I've just used it like a few times. So now I'm going to show you a more exciting part, which is I'm going to create some of the quotes and words you've suggested on my Instagram. Sorry about that, the battery died, so I just had to change the battery. So now let's move on to the exciting part, which is using the font that I just created. Wait, I forgot one important step, which is to install your font. So after you save your font, just right click it and install it. I'm not sure how you install fonts using Mac, but if you're using Windows, just right click the file and click install, and then that's it. Anyway, let's get back. And we're back. So here are the 4 quotes that I did, and I use my font, of course, Times Like Roman, to create these work. So let me just read who requested these quotes. So for the first quote, which is calm down and pray, it is from @Tess_Sai. It has so many A's. So anyway, the second one, good things take time, it's by @Walaaldita. And number 3, be still, let go and let God, is by @Nixie07. And the last one, an artist cannot fail, it is a success to be won, it is from @ArthChristian. If you want to use any of these lettering for your wallpaper, thank these people, because I will put them on my website. So I'll just put a link in the description below where you could download them. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching part 2. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this. Comment below if you have any questions, and if you have any video requests. And also let me know in the comments if you like this new way of doing videos. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss next week's video. I still don't know what I'm going to do, but I post every week. What else? I'm so tired. I'm sorry if this vlog looks messy, but I'm just trying new formats. See if you want to know, or if you want to see the real process, not the very cut out ones. So just let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next week for another video. Bye. Boo. No, for real. Bye.